Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 1st, 2023, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the market's really mostly drifting sideways as we enter the major part of the summer. Now looking at the major economic events of today, so starting at 4 o'clock South African time out of the United States, an ISM Manufacturing PMI number coming out. Now, don't expect any of this news to really shake and rattle the markets, but as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the euro treading lower versus the dollar, and as we look at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, in really a very tight range, and I would call it unchanged day to day. Now looking at commodities, gold does dip lower, while oil pushing higher to $81 a barrel. Now looking at the stocks, mostly they were just drifting. The only thing coming up is Qualcomm coming out with their quarterly earning reports tomorrow, and big Apple, Amazon, and Alibaba on Thursday. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin dips lower as well. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. Here we go. We're going to start with the Euro USD, and you see for intraday trade, this was not so bad. Okay, we traded as high up yesterday as 110.35-ish level, and then dipped about 45 pips, making a double top. If you look at a 1 hour chart, it's much clearer there. Now this, looking at it, okay, if we do some technical analysis here and did some work here, support, resistance, resistance, sell off. Okay, that is classical trading, and this was a go-to short for sure. Okay, 45 pips. Now again, this would have been a great scalp, not a big kind of move. You're not going to make millions of dollars here, but remember, you make these type of trades on a daily basis, you can really build up your portfolio. Now looking at the GBP USD, really doing not much and unchanged here, and so most of the market is when we're looking at the Forex symbols. Now jumping into commodities, looking at gold, we did trickle lower yesterday to 1958, another $5 to $10 retracement there as we cross the two moving averages. Now, I don't want to say that this is getting weaker because it's really a choppy market. We're also looking at a 4-hour chart. Looking at a daily, we're trading sideways. At least for now, this is where we're at. We're in a very tight range relatively for the type of asset that we're trading here. Now, looking at crude oil, did push higher to 81.51. And that continues to go. Now, we are hitting turbulent area in terms of resistance, meaning for us to break out higher, going to need a lot more resilience to do that. So keep that in mind. Now, jumping into the U.S. market, starting out with the Dow Jones. Okay, we did move 100 points up yesterday. That's really minuscule for a type of asset that we're trading there. 35,600, and we move 100 points. Percentage-wise, that is really very small. So keep that in mind that we are summer trading, and until there's going to be some kind of news, Qualcomm coming out with their earning reports tomorrow, and then Amazon and Apple on Thursday, we're going to continue doing this today. And looking at NASDAQ also trading sideways. Now, there are a couple of things to look at. Microsoft. Before we look at Microsoft, though, let's look at Apple coming out with its earning reports. Still on an upwards momentum, okay? This is really important because this was one of the leaders that have been taking us higher in the markets. If we look at Facebook, did retrace yesterday about $7. A decent retracement, but again, hasn't broken its upwards momentum. Now, looking at JP Morgan, did push higher yesterday, a pretty decent move, 157. We're only about 15 points away from our all-time highs. That's really important to note, as this is really climbing and climbing fast. Now, looking at some of the other majors, let's look at Amazon because it is coming out with corporate earning reports on Thursday, chugging higher, okay? Not as aggressive as Apple is, because Apple, if you look at the chart, it's much more of an incline, whereas Amazon kind of like tapering off here. So this may be anticipated as we're going into the number. Now, so markets are still relatively strong, okay? If we look at the markets, they're holding their own. But just keep in mind, we are summer trading. And lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we did dip lower. We're looking at a daily. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. 28,900. Now, psychologically, breaking 29,000 is important because that's a round number, and we are breaking it, but not with not with some gusto, okay? But if the momentum does continue, we could see it back in the 27,900-ish level, which is almost about 1,000 points away, and then that's our next supportish level. So keep that in mind. We are summer trading. I'm going to emphasize that once again. So we do get all of a sudden these type of spikes in the market where there's short squeezes. So keep that in mind when you're trading, especially something like Bitcoin, which is relatively thinner kind of asset to trade and can be whipsawed in the other direction. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.